What's up, everyone? It's Ian Koniak, and today I'm going to share the exact template I use to send emails to executives and book executive meetings. This is something I used at Salesforce. Now I coach people on how to use it, and I have tons of clients that are using this template to book meetings with senior executives, COOs, CEOs, CFOs, depending on what they're trying to sell. And if you stay till the end, I will give you a link to get a copy of this exact template as well, and tons of examples, over 15 examples of people that have used their templates to be able to book meetings with executives. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So this is the impactful executive outreach template, and I'll give you some examples as well to show you how to use it. Now, the key is when you use this template, you have to do research about both the company and the individual, the executive that you're reaching out to. This is something that you're going to use with your larger accounts. If you're an enterprise seller, or even if you're a mid-market or commercial, you're going to pick your A accounts that are new logos, and you're going to use this for reaching out to senior executives. The key is you're going to develop a point of view in advance, a point of view that you use to understand what the executives focused on, what their company's focused on, and show you how you can help them. If you don't have the research, if you don't have the point of view, if you don't know about the person you're reaching out to, it's going to fall flat. So that's foundational. But we're not going to go through how to do that, how to develop a point of view in this video. I'm just going to show you the template, and I'm going to show you examples. So the first sentence of the template is warm and personal. Make it warm and personal, and give them a sincere compliment about the research and what you've learned about them. It's got to be sincere. If you don't mean it, don't say it. Okay. One thing I'll add is doing the research is a lot faster now with AI. I use ChatGPT Plus, and I'll just ask, what are the top initiatives of the company and the top priorities for this year? That's the prompt, and I'll put the company name. And then I'll ask, who are the executives at the company that care most about it? And then I'll say, I work for this company and here's my role. I'd like you to share exactly how we can help them with their top initiatives and goals. So that's the way that AI can help. And if you have the plus version, you could even do some deep research. I'm going to be doing a lot more training on AI and show you how to do this, but at a high level, it makes developing these POVs a lot faster and frankly, a lot better than doing it manually, because ChatGPT is finding so many different sources that are hard to find in Google searches, and it'll read the 10K, it'll come through a lot of stuff for you. So develop your POV first, have good linkage. Linkage is the connection between what you do and what they're trying to achieve. So the essence of this email is you want to say, our stuff helps your stuff. We can help you succeed based on understanding what you're trying to do and showing you how we can help. That's the only way you're going to get a meeting with executives. All these shitty, part of my language, advice from these people that are doing transactional selling is not what I'm talking about here. It's not about two sentences. It's not about short. It's about be specific. Tell them exactly what you know about them and how you can help them. Otherwise, execs are not going to take a meeting. They are too busy. That might work when you're doing mass emails to a lot of people. When you're selling to senior executives, it's got to be hyper personalized. It's got to be about them and their company, and you have to show me that you know me. Okay, so that's what this is for. So sentence one, warm and personal. Sentence two, give a sincere compliment. Sentence three, now we share the observations based on the research you've done. And I like to include a link to the research. I like to show them, hey, here's where I learned this, right? Here's what I learned about you in this article. You said you were trying to achieve X, Y, and Z, right? And I'll share some credibility of the reference where I learned about the research and the observations that I was commenting on in sentence three. Then I give my point of view. Here's how we can help, right? Typically, it goes something like this. Congrats on your success here. Love what you're doing in this specific area, and this resonates deeply with me based on my background. I notice you're trying to achieve these goals based on what you shared in this article, and something that we constantly observe is that companies trying to achieve this are struggling with these common problems that we can directly help with. Not sure if this is top of mind or it resonates, but I'd love to see if you're open to learning a little bit more and seeing how we can help. So that's kind of, again, I did that off the cuff. I'm going to give you some examples, but that's the essence is you're trying to achieve X, but here are some of the challenges and problems that we think might be getting in the way, right? That we can directly address. Is this worth a conversation, right? So that's the essence of this highly personalized email template. So I'll give you guys some examples. These are some examples from me and from some of my clients that have converted. This is one that I sent to the chief customer officer of one of the large companies. The largest company is Fortune 500 that I was working at Salesforce. I said, I listened to a podcast that she was on, and she was really talking about goal setting. And it resonated with me because I'm a big goal setter. She also talked about some personal battles fighting breast cancer. So I brought that up because I was dealing with some personal challenges of my own at the time. So it's got to be sincere. Again, it's personal. I listened to the podcast. I called out what she talked about, and it was moving. When I say I was particularly moved by your approach to fighting your breast cancer, the way she set goals around it and managed her calendar and tracked her health and made sure she fought and like kind of took it the way she approached business. That was really inspiring for me. I'm big on time management and goal setting, so I could relate. And then she said her husband was a teacher and keeps her grounded, and my wife is also keeping me grounded. So again, I made it super personal, super sincere, right? And then I did my call to action. I said, hey, you've talked about goal setting, and my job is to help basically support your entire account, and I don't know what your goals are for the year, right? And I'd love to set up some time. And she within an hour booked a time on my calendar, and it led to a pretty large deal in this account. So again, the key is that it's human, it's personal, it's real. You can't fake this shit. You gotta really care, and you gotta give a sincere compliment, okay? And then make it easy for them to book time. So that's one example. I'll give you one from one of the clients that I coach, and he sent this to a CEO who was on the podcast Diary of a CEO, and he said, "Hey, I watched the podcast. Love what you said about changing the way people eat out. As someone who is overweight, right, and lost 70 pounds, 500-calorie meals have been my go-to. I love that. Very personal." Then he talks about, it was great hearing you talk about transparency. So I want to be upfront with you. I work for a company that helps you optimize OpEx and turn data into actions. And I know we can do the same thing for Itsu. Here's why, right? And again, he sells to franchises, but this went to the CEO. And so he did more research and saw on the franchising brochure, he looked at their website, saw the brochure of franchising, that with franchisees, they're trying to aim at 3% waste and 23% cost for labor. And using the AI Copilot, which is what he sells, we can reduce these figures with economies of scale, and this represents a large savings. He also did more research and showed that they're hiring someone, right, to look at legacy systems. He says, I know you're hiring someone. Would you be interested in learning how we can help? Well, sure enough, this CEO referred him to the head of all franchising, and that led to another deal. So this is an example of great linkage between what you learned and what what this company's value proposition is. Here's another one. This went to the CEO of First Republic Bank. And again, he actually bought a house with First Republic Bank. That was his mortgage provider. And he shared his experience. He said, hey, I thought banks were the same. I couldn't have been wrong. The service, knowledge, and experience that you provided were beyond excellent. So I've started recommending First Republic Bank to my friends, to my colleagues. It even inspired to read the 10K. And this really was a great success story because his linkage was beautiful. He said, before I bought the condo, I moved from one apartment to another each year. I hated the disruption, similar to how storage and backup needs to be upgraded every few years. Now, he happens to work for Pure Storage. So he said, thanks to First Republic, that process, the moving process is gone for good. We do the same for storage and backup. We eliminate the hardware refresh cycle from your data center with a very different approach to storage. The net result is that you'll likely reduce one of your largest recurring information system expenses and be able to move resources onto top projects like mobile or online banking platforms. You see, the CEO wasn't talking about storage or IT. She was talking about mobile and online banking. But if you can link that back and say, hey, this will free up money to go invest in the things you care about, that's phenomenal. You're not looking at this, but this is a low-hanging fruit that you can use to reallocate funds towards what you care most about. And that was the call to action is, hey, since what we do aligns with the efficiency and cost objectives, I thought it might be worth a discussion. Who's the best point of contact? So this obviously CEO is not going to buy storage solutions, but the CEO referred him to the COO, who then referred him to the CIO, and that led to a sales cycle. So fundamentally, what we're talking about is referrals that come from executives that go to other people, oftentimes if they're not directly responsible for that, which is just as good. Because if the CEO says, hey, talk to this person, right, to their COO, heck, I'll take that meeting any day. So I have a lot more examples of this that I can share. Here's one that came, I'm not going to go through every one, but this came from one of my coaching clients, the CEO who sells HR solutions. She works for Paycom. And that's an example. This actually came to me from Isaac, who helps now, he's on my team, he's my head of customer experience. It started with a cold call where he saw what I was working on. He gave an example. He called out that shorts are a great way to actually get more views and grow my YouTube. He called out the problem of not having shorts that I had and called out and educated me around what he did. And this led to him becoming my video editor and then ultimately becoming my head of customer success. So this stuff really works. I have so many different examples here from so many clients. You can kind of go through and look. I also have examples from Tanvir, my head of sales, now CRO, that he used. And these are all things that you can get. Now, before I give you the link to get this, I'll say, knowing what to do is not enough. Just because you know what the format is doesn't mean that you're going to go do it. It takes discipline. It takes confidence. You need to feel good about meeting with executives. You need to get over the imposter syndrome. You need to make sure you abandon bad habits. You need to prioritize prospecting. If you don't do these things, it's not going to matter, because just because the first email is great doesn't mean you don't have to follow up. You got to keep following up. You got to call. You got to have the patience to do the research. So it's all about transforming who you are, your mindset, your habits, your selling skills. And that's the stuff that we do at Untap Your Sales Potential. We coach the holistic individual, help them become the person who's capable of doing these things day in and day out and believing themselves, a person that's confident, disciplined, and consistent with their actions. And if that's you, please go ahead and book your free strategy session with your team. You can talk to my team. We can see if it's a fit. You can learn more about coaching. But the whole point of coaching is that we help you apply everything you're learning, because knowing what to do is not enough. You need to do it. And that's where coaching brings accountability, brings support, brings community, and brings consistency to applying everything you're learning from me. Now, as promised, you can get all of the examples here. Just grab your phone, take a picture of this barcode, and then you can download this entire deck free of charge. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next week. Take care.